Well, surprise, surprise, COE fans! You've thus far had the privilege of seeing Project COE's Executive Director Jared Nickel, along with my good buddy Ahmad Mosley, while watching our YouTube content, and now you can add me, staff writer Justin Joseph, to your list. I know, not quite what you were expecting, right? Especially given how choppy this is. Well, I'll have to apologize in advance for all these recordings of myself because apparently my current machine and webcam are incapable of processing my image smoothly, so you're going to see a lot of lag with my mouth and hearing my voice come out of your speakers as a result. There's nothing I can think of to do, yet I'm open to suggestions, but for now, what you see is what you get, so be happy with that. Anyway, I'm not going to be flashy or anything with my first physical appearance, but I will tell you through this that what you're about to hear is our extremely long overdue review for an exclusive IP on the Nintendo Wii, No More Heroes. Let's cut to the chase and get this thing rolling. Alright, well, I'll be honest here. No More Heroes is easily one of the toughest games I've ever reviewed. It's just one of those, you know? Anyway, the general appeal of this game is similar to franchises like Devil May Cry and God of War. You go around beating the living crap out of your enemies and look cool doing it. Who's behind all of it? Well, none other than Travis Touchdown, of course, the epitome of stereotypical anime-loving, wrestling-watching otaku young men. His role in this game is to become the world's #1 ranked assassin, and that's why he entered an eBay auction to win a battery-powered lightsaber. Oh yes, this game's bizarre, and you haven't heard anything yet. His decision to pursue this was probably also helped by the fact that his parents were brutally murdered, and he met a woman known only as Sylvia at a local bar who promised him that she could help him with his goal. Hence Travis's entry into the UAA, an underground assassins organization. This is the core driver of No More Heroes, and there's quite a bit to go along with it. You see, after you take down number 10, as you're initially ranked 11th, you're exposed to a little more of the story, especially Touchdown wanting a piece of Sylvia, wink wink, and then what the general world of this game has to offer. It all takes place in the fictional California city of Santa Destroy. You drive around it on Travis's custom Schleptiger motorcycle, taking on part-time jobs, completing under-the-table assassination gigs, and participating in optional free fights. Let's elaborate on the setting first. I have to say, Santa Destroy is one of the dullest that I've ever experienced. It's really no fun to navigate, has consistent technical issues like frame rate drops and laughable collision detection, and on top of that, there's no city-like activity whatsoever. It's as if the developers wanted this to feel like GTA at the last minute and slapped this place together. It may certainly be pretty colorful and neat in design thanks to the artwork and graphics, but it seemed overall pretty pointless to me. I would have much preferred, a static map of similar taste and Mega Man style that simply allowed you to pick locations of interest and boom, sent you right in. Instead, you have to drive everywhere, and it isn't exciting to do so. The same goes for the jobs, which range from picking up coconuts, rescuing dumb kittens, and removing graffiti from the local business walls. These don't pay out much of the game's currency, which is LB, and really aren't all that entertaining thanks to forced Wii remote gestures. A couple are decent, but overall I wish that they too were optional like the free fights. Although I do acknowledge that catching yourself on fire while filling gas tanks is pretty hilarious. Assassination gigs, on the other hand, are the game's secondary bread and butter, because they're all about what the game was designed for in the first place. After completing a job, the issuer grants you access to a couple assassination tasks at K Entertainment. You accept them, head to the destination, and happily kill your target or targets. These are certainly worth a lot more money, and you need it, since you actually have to pay an entry fee to pursue a ranked assassin. Easily the best part of this game, once you satisfy the money requirement, you return to your motel quarters and hear from Sylvia about where to go next. Once you reach the place, you generally have a number of common enemy waves to deal with, and oh, are they a joy to dispatch. So before I talk about this assassin fights, let me tell you about the combat and what I think. It would have been awesome if Travis's lightsaber was controlled by motioning the Wii remote, but since that type of action is unproven on Wii, Suda 51 and company chose a different route. The A button takes care of all your weapon slashes, but the height at which you hold the remote determines if you strike low or high. The B trigger brings out melee maneuvers meant to stun your opponents. Do so, and you can perform a wrestling maneuver by gesturing with the Wii controllers, or just wail on them with a lightsaber combo. If you go that route and drain the foe of his or her health, the game freezes momentarily and an arrow pops up and you're to gesture in that direction for either a nice decapitation or a 50-50 split of your victim's body. Oh, and of course, a red liquid fountain decorates your screen, and it never fails to intrigue. It goes even deeper too. Head to the local gym between missions and boost your strength, stamina, and attack combo length. Find the semi-hidden lava cov balls strewn about Santa Destroy, and you can redeem them with a drunk Russian who will teach you extremely sweet new techniques. In other words, while the action does become fairly mindless and repetitive after a while, your ability progression helps keep things interesting, and you can't ask for more in that regard. About those assassins, they're a mix of ridiculously easy to immensely frustrating. You never quite understand their role in the story, but each brings with them a colorful personality and unique attacks that are sure to drive you insane. The main idea is to learn their patterns and counter appropriately, and while that's not tough for some, it's not so much for most of them. Don't get me wrong, these fights are great, but they can feel cheap at times when the bosses block your attacks, even if staggering, not to mention that your interaction with them is relatively brief, so you don't really gain a feel for who these people even are. It's a bit disappointing, but this is a great aspect of the game nonetheless. Now for style, which this game is absolutely riddled with. At the same time though, it's very adult-oriented and juvenile, considering the following. Travis takes a dump so you can save the game. He recharges his lightsaber in mid-battle by doing a motion comparable to what males do with a certain bodily extremity. You hear some enemies scream, "My spleen," when you kill them. And to top it all off, one of Travis's special states of invincibility is called Strawberry on the Shortcake. Of course I haven't covered it all, but I just wanted to paint a brief picture and let you discover the rest yourself if you ever feel inclined to do so. Graphics and audio-wise, No More Heroes certainly ranks up there for Wii, but not without problems. It's not the best looking game on the system, but the developers definitely did a great job with the animations, color, and character models despite the bland city setting and various technical problems. Plus, how could anybody ever forget the 8-bit HUD and pause menus? The sound effects are wonderful, especially in battle, which is to be expected, and the voice work is also very nice, as each character is backed by a passionate and convincing role. However, Sylvia's phone calls become extremely annoying after the first few times, making me wish I could talk back and tell her off. From a music standpoint, No More Heroes has a few awesome themes, like those played during boss battles, the one in the gym, and the song heard when talking to the female lightsaber engineer. After that, it's not particularly enthralling, especially while driving around Santa Destroy. So you can finish this game in around 15 hours and unlock harder difficulties. Is it worth a second playthrough? To me, not really, since all you'd really be doing at that point is playing the same game, only harder. But that's obviously not for me to decide for you. In any case, after some top deliberation, considering all the strong and weak points of this game, I decided that the quality of this title is high enough to warrant a great rating from Project COE. I've awarded it our bronze medal, or more specifically, an 8.0 on 10. Thanks for tuning into my first video review in quite some time. I hope you enjoyed what I had to say about No More Heroes, as well as my first attempt at webcam integration. My written review will go live on our site within the next day or two, along with my article for House of the Dead 2 and 3 Return, which will too receive the video treatment, likely by tomorrow. Until then, I'll see you guys later, and as always, stick with us here at Project COE for all your latest gaming info. Catch you guys later.